Ra-da-da-da-da. All right, looks like I am live there. Cool. I can go ahead and go live on here and do the audio check and talk with those of you who are chilling and waiting for this to start. Welcome in. I'm sounding good on my side, it looks like. I can mute myself now. Aurora photography is something that, I mean, Mary Beth said it best, calling it like a crack addiction, where you love that, chase it, looking for it, and it used to be a lot harder than it is this year. Now, there's going to be more storms off and on, and so there's going to be days, plenty of days, where you don't get anything. But, hey, Colin, dude, I was just laughing at your audio from your video. You're like, and guess what? It's not AI created. I was literally thinking of you and Paolo when I set this up for 1 p.m. on Sunday so that you guys could actually be here. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked that you're both here. Hey. So we've got about technically 4 minutes to go. So I am going to hit you guys up with the pre-show videos before we go live. The audio sounds good. Let's go ahead and get rolling with the pre-show. Location planning. There are really only two considerations that you should be making when choosing your location for Milky Way. One, your foreground. Using the composition tips that I gave you in the previous video, this one, you guys can see, and right here is the link, you guys can see that actually you blah, 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 blah. Want to see me? Use the video linked right here to go see my composition tips. Otherwise, once you've decided on a cool foreground, the other consideration is number two, and most important, honestly, light pollution. You want the darkest sky possible. And so my favorite tool is lightpollutionmap.info. Lightpollutionmap.info is fantastic for showing you pretty up-to-date blooms of light. If you're lucky enough like me to live in the West Coast, the west side of the United States, then you're sitting here working around islands of light pockets. You've got light blooms that you have to work around in little city areas that are going to cause blooms of light in your image. And so you want to make sure that your foreground and the light pollution play nice together, or if you're lucky enough, completely eradicate light pollution if at all possible. I have a video right here that you can click on right there that breaks down all my light pollution avoidance philosophies, and you can go into detail there. But one thing I want to emphasize is that depending on where you're standing near that light pollution bloom, you can mitigate it. Even if you have some light pollution in the distance, if you're further away, you pull that light pollution bloom down to the lower part of your frame, and so where it blooms up, it's not messing with the core. And check out this, you can even have fun with the light pollution bloom and it doesn't ruin your shot. So you don't always have to avoid light pollution like it's a plague, but if you can get it off of your Milky Way core, success. That's all you really need to worry about. If it's below the core, you won't care. The last thing, I do not use filters. I am lucky enough to go to locations that are dark enough that I don't care about a little bit of filter blocking a little bit of light pollution if I even have any. So find a great foreground in a dark sky location by checking lightpollutionmap.info and you've got a great spot for Milky Way. The first thing you're looking for is an aperture of f2.8 or greater. Check out this shot of my Rokinon. As you're looking at the aperture change from f22 all the way back down to f1.4, you can see how much awesome space there is in that light bucket of a lens to capture as much light in and get to the sensor without having to bring up my ISO too much to amplify the existing light. So when you're looking at your lenses, choose something that's f2.8 or greater. f1.4 is this Rokinon and it is fantastic. Let's talk about the second thing, the focal length of your lens. That focal length choice is basically you're going to be as wide as possible from fisheye to about 50 millimeter. Those are your best ranges. What if I'm concerned about getting a zoom? Should I avoid zoom lenses? Heavens no. The fact that my Rokinon is better than my Tamron is not because it's just a prime versus a zoom question. While prime is fantastic, has high quality, and it will give you really great quality glass and clarity on the Milky Way, if this was an f3.5 and prime versus a zoom 2.8, the one I'd go with instantly is the f2.8. Lastly, you might look at this Rokinon and say, this doesn't have any autofocus. If no autofocus, this is going to be a frustrating lens to have in my bag. Well, for Milky Way photography, you are always going to be in manual focus. Look at your lenses. What do you have? Do you only have a 50 millimeter that's f1.8 or 1.4 or 1.2? Then go with the 50 millimeter. You will have to do a panorama, so stay tuned for a later video where I'm going to talk about panoramas. Oh, all right, let's get rolling. Let's get rolling in here with Milky Way Wednesday. Hey, welcome in. It's not Wednesday, but it's Milky Way Wednesday, the show, enjoying a little bit of an extra bonus episode for two reasons. The first reason is just flat out an admission that Wednesday's episode was all for me. I just wanted to have some fun with AI music, and telling you guys how to actually use it and create AI music seemed like, why not? But it's just, I knew setting it up that it wasn't going to be a good enough week if I only had that episode. So I wanted to add a second episode. And two, we just had an amazing... Oh, yeah, I was debating on wearing the wig today. Should I wear the wig? No, I look like a fool. I look like a puppet. This is what I wear when I go to RSL football games. So, all right. So, we just had an amazing storm. Now, in the past, there have been amazing storms. Amazing storms where if you go to spaceweather.com, they declare them KP8, KP7. And whenever a KP8 happens, that's when I'm thinking, ooh, I might be able to see it here in Utah. I might actually be able to catch a glimpse of this Aurora. Well, if you look at, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and share with you my phone. So welcome in, everybody. While I'm going to grab my phone reflector app so I can show you what's on my phone. But coming from Linda saying, hey, from sunny Sacramento. Oh, sunny Sacramento. Awesome. And Vanessa's joining us from the golf course. Oh, man. Where's our friend that tells us that he's over right now in, like, Tahiti or something, making us jealous? And she's on the golf course. That sounds like a fun way to spend the afternoon. Tim Bradley's here. Will this show be taped and shown on Wednesday? This episode will not be replayed on Wednesday. It'll just always be available for replay. So, for instance, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So, if you go over to Photog Adventures, now they have them separated, where the lives that are currently live show up here, and then I have my list. You won't see my live streams unless you click on live, and then you can see all the previous live Milky Way Wednesdays. Now, not all of them, as there was a season where I was putting them unlisted and keeping them unlisted after I went live, just because I'm not sure I remember why, my reasoning. But you can go back and watch this live anytime over here on YouTube. No problem. But on Wednesday, there will be a pre-recorded video that plays at 7, since I won't be here. I'll be gone this Wednesday, the following Wednesday, and the following Wednesday. So, and good job, Tim. I want everyone to see how Tim wrote that. He wrote that with all caps. If you ever have any questions that you want me to not miss, make sure you hit me up with all caps. That way I do not miss seeing it, and that we are all good. Let's see if I can get this. I want to get this color bar to be a little bigger. I just got a little bit of space underneath here. Oh, I think I need to unlock it. No, it is unlocked. Move that up. There we go. I had a weird gap just below me right there. So, hey, welcome in. And Michael McKeek says, actually, a clear sky today in the East Columbia River, George. Oh, wow. You're enjoying some clear skies. That is a fantastic sign of May and June. Man, I love going to Oregon in June months. Of course, I go there in November for crazy bad weather, and I never get bad weather. It's no fair. Whatever you're going for, sometimes you just can't get. So I'm going to share my phone, because I want to show you a drawing that I did for Niraj that actually has a picture that I wouldn't be able to find, because once again, Aaron has a folder he's been pending on making that has every single Milky Way photo he's ever taken, so that it's nice and fast to show. So, you know what, for the sake of what's on here, let's go ahead and jump into Canva chat, and I won't share other people's messages to me. I'll just go straight into Niraj's text first and then load this up. And you know, I'm going to minimize all these other screens so there's not too many distractions, and I think I will be safe to share from here on. Okay, cool. All right, back on the text. So right here, this was a KP8, I believe, when this picture was taken. So you can see in the panorama, there's Brendan. I'm looking totally to the north, and that's typically what I would see from Utah. And so here we are looking at the Aurora potential, and I'm like, hey, dude, so there's Aurora really going crazy. And he asked me about it first. He goes, are you going to capture the Aurora? I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm actually not, but let me double check something. And I go, whoa, it's a KP9. It's a KP9, one that I had never seen space weather talk about, a KP9. It's usually KP8 or lower. So when I look at the Aurora map, this is what it's showing for the Aurora oval. And if you're unfamiliar with some of these things, I'm going to talk about them as well towards the end here, but we're going to celebrate all of your Aurora pictures. But we've got to talk about what this means right here. When we had the Aurora so great, taking up all of this space on the top of the Earth's globe, it was stretching out large enough to reach into Idaho, and northern Utah could see the Aurora bands above them. But here in southern Utah, we typically would only see this. Well, Niraj went out, and am I going to save this fast enough? I think I better play it safe. I don't think I'm going to get to the picture fast enough, so I won't take you guys through the carousel ride of me scrolling text. Got to find that group text that Niraj sent us to all of us. Okay. So, Surendra said he shared his from the plane. So then Niraj went out, and what is typically that picture I showed you, the kind of boring, just low on the horizon, evidence of Aurora, but not really like go there, gather around, let's go see that Aurora kind of scenario. Well, he sends me the pictures the next day of this. And hey, Kathy, welcome in. Literally just got home from Florida. Oh, you were hanging out with your lawyer family out there. So this is what he saw from Hanksville area. And if you're familiar with the Hanksville area, it is by Factory Butte. And so he captured this kind of Aurora. Like we're talking frame edge to edge Aurora. Couldn't believe that he saw this. I haven't seen anything like this since this time I experienced of an Aurora a few years ago that actual Mary Beth drove all the way from, we both left Minnesota together at the same time, and then she was going to head and stay in that area around the upper peninsula of Michigan, and then decided, ooh, you know what? I'm coming with you. The skies are terrible here. I'm going to meet you out at Devil's Tower. And we experienced this. Oh no, this video is showing it in a bad format. Let me try and get this to fit the screen. There we go. So this was Devil's Tower, much further north than Utah. And you can see how it was so red and pink, and that was the excitement of the Aurora. When we were off to the right of Devil's Tower and we looked in the distance, you could see the Aurora going off. Hi, the British man from West Darlington. There's another British man here. Awesome. Welcome in, fellow other British man from West Darlington. Or unless it's wet Darlington. Maybe you meant wet Darlington. Yeah, because he says rainy Southampton. All right, cool. What's up, the British man? So looking at this, the Aurora was a spectacular show of pink, and the photos taken from that time were so red and so pink. And you can see how it gets even more intense at some parts, but then kind of wanes and gets light. And that was a simple Aurora of, I think, like a KP6. I wish I had the date right here because we could go back in time and see what was going on in that Aurora. In fact, I'm going to try. I'm going to make an attempt, and in that attempt, I'm going to teach you something about space weather. So spaceweather.com should be your source for learning about Aurora, as well as keeping check on what's going on. And today it says there's a slight chance of geomagnetic activity today. What's the current situation? Scroll down. Here's the auroral oval. That's hard to say. The auroral oval right now is a KP2. Now, in an email that I sent out to everybody, another thing that I should probably do in private first, just because it's other people's email addresses, I don't want to share them. But I sent out an email to everybody about a Trailblazer adventure I'm doing and going to Lofoten. So I have half my group set up, and there's still 3 more slots if you're interested in coming out with me. It's a $1,200 7-night Lofoten adventure. And I sent out this email with some information that I wanted to share tonight, and I hadn't opened it up yet because, to be honest, I'm still on the schedule of being up till 3 or 4 in the morning for workshops, and I just can't get back on schedule when I get home. So I went to bed last night at 4 a.m., and I just barely woke up before today's show. So that's why I haven't eaten the awesome bananas and pancakes or whatever it was that Angelo was making me jealous of. But let's see, the Aurora 7 nights. Okay, yeah, there's the email. So now I'm going to pull this over once I got that. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Let's just go ahead and put this up here. Let's see the content by itself. Can I just see the content by itself? I guess not. You're going to see all the other numbers. You can see you opened it and click rate. But when you're looking at the Aurora and what happens with this KP level, let's open up this image in a new tab. When it says KP0, KP1, KP2, you can kind of look at it in this way, where the Aurora oval on top of the Earth, you can see this oval today, the top of the Earth oval, let's see a Europe-centric one for our British friends. So it's nighttime out there, almost in the UK, part of UK is in the dark so far, but the oval from up there on that perspective from Europe on the top of the globe, right? Well, as that oval gets larger with the larger storm, it stretches. And here in Utah, when I'm like in southern Utah in that picture with Brendan, there is KP 876 required to see anything whatsoever. And I've never seen a KP9. I'd only ever heard of a KP8. Well, heard of KP9s, but never had a night where it's like I was paying attention. They said, hey, it was a KP8. Wow, yes. Or I was looking to capture an Aurora because it was a KP8. I haven't had a night where I'm paying attention that it's actually KP9. So a few Fridays ago when that happened, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So looking at what kind of stretch you have based on the KP levels, in order for us to see it, say, in Wyoming at Devil's Tower, KP6 and KP7, a KP7, this color, would put it right on top of Devil's Tower. Now, we had a KP6 and 5 going off that night. And if you've never seen Aurora, Kathy's seen it with me. I don't know if Rhonda's here too, but Rhonda and Kathy and I were together in Faroe Islands, and we saw Aurora off in the horizon. In fact, let me go ahead and pull that up. So it was a video. Oh, it was a live stream that I shared the time lapse. No, I did just a video. That's right. There was a live stream where I shared one video, but there's also just a dedicated to Aurora one right here on one of the nights with Kathy there. I think we're gonna have some audio, so I'm gonna play it. It was my first really cool Aurora I've ever seen in my life. So I really build up the beginning. I'm going to turn that desktop audio down. I'm going to tell it to loop. So as you can see in this situation, we've got Aurora way off in the northern horizon. We don't see Aurora. Maybe I need to turn this down even more. I guess for you it's probably not too loud. It's just for me, I'm hearing it. So for me, I can hear it. But you can see how in the horizon up there, it was going nuts. And let's go past all of my build-up. Because I think I took, like 20 seconds just to bring anticipation. So then here's the clip. Well, play. And that Aurora is during a time when the moon's out. Notice the visibility of the terrain. That's with the moon out. Oh my gosh, right. Kathy just said down here, can't believe it's already been 5 years. I know. And so looking at this Aurora on the horizon, that was the most active one. Now, naked eye, looking out, you do not see a green band going across the sky. What you see, and what most of you probably experience now finally, is that you see what is a hint of color. You can't tell if your mind is just convincing yourself it has color or if you're actually seeing that color. But what's happening is a movement, an obvious item in the sky. Like that band right there, that was visible to our naked eye. We're like, oh my gosh, that's Aurora. So you take a picture and you realize how green it is. It's like, yes. And in Faroe Islands, you get Aurora pretty decently with even a small amount. For instance, let's go back to my email. Let's show this picture, more Europe-centric. And you can see what it takes to see the aurora, say, I don't know where Southampton is, but he said west, no, he said wet part of UK. But if you both, I think both of you are within this section right here. Of course, that's a safe bet since I think most of the population of England is right here. But this section requires a KP8 or a KP9 to show up overhead. When you're in Iceland, simple KP1 will be overhead. Why is Lofoten and Iceland very popular for aurora? Why is Alaska very popular for aurora up here? Yellowknife, because you're going to have any aurora, it'll be overhead. Faroe Islands, they are the islands, those aren't the islands right there. Let's go into maps so you guys get bearings on the Faroe Islands. Zoom out, zoom out. All right. Faroe Islands, as you can see, these were the Shetland Islands, I think. Are those Shetland? Yeah, Shetland. And so here's the Faroes. And you can't see them anymore on my map because I have so many pins. So these are the Faroe Islands, and you can see where they are up in the height. So Lofoten coming off here, Iceland. Faroe Islands is halfway between the top of Scotland and Iceland. So when we look at this map again, this one again, you can see that it's roughly on the green line. So a KP3 is right on top. My first ever aurora on top of me was so green. It was amazing. I took a picture up in the air, bright green everywhere in the frame. And yet I couldn't see a dang thing because it was completely overcast. We got out there hoping to find some clear skies. We went flying about, tried to get ourselves to a part where we can get up to the most northern area. We were staying in the Runavík, which was off of this part right here. Runavík is right there. So we were driving as far as we could up here to Eyja, and maybe even, I think we even pulled over up on the hill here to point north in Fjorda. Oh, it's like, I need to say that better. Fjorda. So the D right here, the second D is not a D sound. But the area we went to, tried to get north facing, not as much in the way. We're just trying to see the aurora as best as we could. We didn't go all the way up here to Jokf. We didn't go to Jokf. We were coming off of a side road somewhere. I think we even might have been like right here looking up. Not sure exactly where we were. Just knew that we got to a spot, standing in a hill. We get in this area, we look up north, and we can see that there's just like moonlight on the other side of these clouds. Anything that you would expect to see if there was a moon up there and the clouds were being lit up. But when we took a picture, all of that was bright green. It was the green featured in this kind of aurora. No pink, just green. Well, the question is what is kind of the pink versus the green? And we're going to look into that today because you can notice faintly that there is some pink at the top of this. Well, I've shared a bit too much about myself so far, and let's get into some of your photos where we can take into consideration what is the green versus the pink section of aurora, and you can see that night how intense it was. So I think what I'm going to do is go this size. Yeah, even with the comments, I think it'll be worth it because I like seeing the comments of the images. So we've been watching videos. Let's just start with Colin's video. I love Colin's comment, though, by the way. He says, this was created by a real person, not an AI music. Look at that. Look at the movement of it. Hey, Colin, are we dealing with some clouds over here? Or is it... Because I see clouds obviously right there, but it just seems so dark right there. Oh, look how active it is. He said it was a low-res video, so I guess maybe it's just coming back a little low-res. Oh, that's sweet. Written and performed by real people. Oh, that's it. Okay. Whew, that's cool. So let's work our way backwards. So here's a Michael McKeague photo. Let's see if he has a comment on this. So, oh, this is me saying it to him. I love seeing the moon in the bottom horizon right here. That's so cool to see the moon right there. The Earth glow is showing up on that and easily on the dark part of that crescent because it's a crescent moon, but showing up a full circle right there. So that's a great shot. This is what you see from a different height. Let me go ahead and go back to the map. Remember America. So when you are sitting here enjoying this aurora that night from Utah, right around here, all you saw was pink, very pink bands. People up in the north here got into some actual green. For instance, Rob Ryan's hanging out in this section of Idaho, near Idaho Falls, in Idaho Falls, or I guess he left Idaho Falls and went nearby, and he captured this. Let's just show his Jeep. So here's the green in Rob Ryan's picture, and then here's the green plus pink in his. So thinking about, I need a ball. I got a football. I'll use my moon. This moon right here. Let's go a little bit bigger camera. So, it'd be really great if I had some like colored paper. I always think of these things too late. What would be a good example? Maybe just a picture on my phone where it's like showing up. Come on, there's got to be something obvious. At any rate, this is the Earth. And on top of the Earth is something colorful. Say, that's not going to be a good example. Dang it, I wish I could visual. But you can visualize with me with your imagination. There's this green donut of Aurora going around the Aurora oval. And right here is where it's at, on top of this part of the Earth. And now, when I rotate that part of the Earth back, you can see how obviously you don't see it from where you are here. But if you were, say, here, you can see that finger off in your north. And you see that up there in your northern horizon. And so if these four fingers and the smallest fingers were pink bands and the fattest bottom fingers were green bands, as you get curved around the Earth, you start to see only the pink and none of that green. And where Rob is hanging out, you got green and pink, but where Neeraj is in southern Utah, you've only got the pink hanging out there. I think that visual's been beat enough. So we go back into this view of what Rob is seeing, and at the exact same time, possibly, captured by Neeraj, you're seeing what is just insanely pink everywhere. And what ends up kind of being yellow in his picture is the top of that green band. And where it's most visible, not pink, is the most northern view and lowest on the horizon. So it's interesting to take into account how far we're really looking up here. To see this show up where it was, how far north we're actually looking. Now the KP8 Aurora was insane. I mentioned I wanted to teach you something about space weather. Well, when space weather was going on that Friday, in fact, let's remind myself what day it was. Friday the 10th. Friday the 10th. Here's what they were talking about. Extreme geomagnetic storm going on right now. CME strike sparks widespread auroras. The first of 6 coronal mass ejections hurled toward Earth by giant sunspot AR 3664. This one right there. This has hit our planet's magnetic field today. The impact on May 10th jolted magnetometers around the world and sparked a geomagnetic storm, which is now extreme. More CMEs are following close behind, and their arrival could extend the storm into the weekend. Those of you who went out on Saturday know that it was a far less of an experience than it was Friday night. Here's what they're looking at. Solar wind blowing around the Earth, and there's not just a situation of does a ray blast off of the sun, but does a coronal mass ejection actually hit the Earth in the right position to actually have it not be a glancing blow, to have it not be something that we don't see? So it happened at the right time and the right place, and then it created. Now, I wish this updated too. The numbers from that night are right here. KP 8.67. but we don't have the auroral picture from then. We have the auroral oval from today showing up there. Let's see if I can get some more data and explanation. Here's the KP9, KP7, KP5. So there's some more data on the K index, and here was some more data. KP9 is the highest up here on the scale. So I think that if they even had a storm larger than KP9, it would be called the KP9, but I don't have any experience with that. I don't know what they do, if it actually is technically, if at all, larger than a KP9. Like the way that they've written this, KP8, 9 minus, and then KP9 0 or 9.0, is that implying and beyond, KP9 and beyond. So when we look at, say, let's go into our video here and do CME animation. Let's just see if we can get a good one. So, what's a good popular one? 5,000 views, 14 million, but this is just sort of an animation, but maybe that's great. Maybe this will be an interesting one. I'm not going to play the audio of this video. I am just going to try and get some visual aids from them and their Kyrgyzstan. I have no idea how to pronounce this German word. It might not be German. But we're talking about the aurora and how it hits the earth. So this blast comes and hits the earth. Of course, that's like melting the earth. But this is talking about destroying the civilization. This is more that. What about just some simple examples of it hitting the earth currently? So you can see those geomagnetic poles. The top is where everything kind of hits and then gets pulled down in to it. And when it gets pulled down into it, it creates what is Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis. And then this is the, I think the Van Allen belt or the Kuiper belt is all this, what it's called was protection from radiation. Where first below here, where most of the population is being protected, coincidentally, just luckily, terrifically by design, it's fantastic. And then up here at the northern and southern poles is where it gets folded into and creates those awesome, the ionization, the aurora, the fun. So we're going to celebrate some more of your pictures, but I just wanted to get that visual aid. This is destroying the earth, so maybe we don't need to destroy it anymore. Just missed it. Okay, so we're going to go back into your photos and celebrate some more. Because there's a theme going on here that I want to talk about, two parts. Kathy said, I'll think you're talking to someone else, but I'll quote it here. From Scotland, too. We got another Scotland, one from Scotland here, too. Shooting and reloading. Hey, shooting and reloading, welcome in. So, looking at these pictures from that night, it's really fun to see the different versions of the aurora from different time of the night and different position under the aurora. So, let's start celebrating more. I was at Michael McKeague's. Let's go backwards, and we got some sweet pictures from Steve Luther. Look at that. Now, these pink ones are on the bottom and the green ones on the top. Well, I think it's just these ones were right above his head. And then the horizon over there had just a big pink band, a big blast. The way that it changes, you might have remembered from this clip that I shared. Hit the wrong clip. And so right here you can see how I have a little blast that's happening in the center there. It's going vibrant and going away. It changes, it erupts in some ways. And that eruption right there is showing up more bright probably at this moment for Steve versus the rest. Oh man, we're going to talk about aurora photography and composition here in a second. But first, I just want to celebrate all of these photos and just gush over them. I'm not going to take time to draw in any lines like I typically do because of the composition thing we're going to talk about. But fantastic shot from Steve there. And then this one. This makes me so jealous. This is I'm under aurora. It's ribboning. The curtain is ribboning on top of my head. So it's like you've got this aurora. This is Tim Farmer's business card. You have this aurora we're seeing like this, but when you're underneath it, it looks like this. And so that ribbon, that folding ribbon that you're looking at is on top of your head at this perspective. And doing the action instead of doing this ribbon wave in the distance in the north. And so his view right here is looking up through a blade of aurora. Oh, it's so cool. Steve Luther has been an aurora chaser for most of his life. In fact, he was telling me he got into that long before he got into Milky Way photography. And Rob Ryan's I shared. Another Steve Luther shot. all green, very little pink showing up, but then just the curtains have the texture of a curtain so vibrantly. It is insane. Now, there's another thing to consider about how you capture your aurora. Hey, Tim Farmer's here. Awesome. The whole situation of how long your shutter should go. When I showed you that time lapse that I shared from my video, I was doing a time lapse of, where am I? I'm looking at all the wrong places. It's this one, right? Yeah. When I showed you my time lapse in here, I was doing short frames because we had tons of light with the moon out, and the aurora was dancing around and moving so much. So imagine if I had done a long 30-second shutter. That kind of green moving across the sky, you saw it go really vibrant here, and then it kind of curled and S through the bottom right there. Watch that again. So it's vibrant along the stretch and then kind of curls. Whew. Has a little S down there. That entire time, we're talking a couple minutes, it's moving that fast. Because when I did this aurora, I'm taking like an 4 or 8 second capture every one after another. And this is not a very long time lapse. So this is barely, I'm guessing we were there for 40 minutes maybe. Maybe an hour. Maybe. I don't think this is a time lapse of an hour though. I really don't think so. You can watch the people driving around Faroe Islands and how fast they're going to get a perspective on the timing. They're obviously taking far longer than that to go across the hill, but this is looking out over, I can't remember the name of the city on the top of my head, darn. But that area of the sky, if I had just kept the shutter open, would all be green. Painted green like you were wanding it with a flashlight, and it would paint green, so you can't have a long shutter. And I think some of you have went out this experience, you probably experienced where it's like, I should go for a fast shutter. You started realizing that early on about how you needed a faster shutter. So then, here we go, the Battlefield of Athens. This is a good one. I wanted to show the location. So, Battlefield of Athens. Where is that? So the Battlefield of Athens State Historic Site. I'm going to get this out of the way. And we're looking at a place right here. So here's where Utah was experiencing some aurora. Let's go back into this. So we're looking at Illinois under the letters. Where's my map? Higher than the letters. And it's actually Kansas City, Iowa corner near Illinois. So this right here where St. Louis is and Kansas City is too far south. And we don't see, I mean, Kansas City is kind of right there. So this corner of Iowa and Missouri is where he was, and the KP9 is right on top of him. And yet, at least at the time of his photo, it was all pink bands with the green very low on the horizon, very similar to what we saw in mirages over here in Utah. And so let's go back. And you've got what he's seeing from here is similar to what he's seeing roughly up here. So there and there. He has a lot better view, and yet it's all pink. I'm surprised that it's so pink, but it's so interesting. I love it, Tim. This is a cool picture. We got another comment on Mike's, this other Mike picture. Let's see what he's saying. Oh, this is me also capturing. Hey, you captured these from home, Mike. I was asking if you captured them from home. Go away comments so that I can go on. Ooh, he's got a good example of a long exposure, I think. I think the smoothness between these two is from a long shutter, making this look just, it's great. The color is strong, but I think a lot of the definition that you saw in Steve Luther's right here and the definition that you're seeing Spike's, well, I think more Steve's than it is in Tim's, because you see all that detail being where he was on top of the fact of what he captured with, and then it's a little bit lost in the longer shutter here. I wonder what the shutter was. Mike, do you remember what the shutter was? And then here's another Steve Luther picture. Oh my gosh, this is insane. I mean, if you could see this with your naked eye, if you could see this with your naked eye, you'd be so freaked out how amazing that is. Woo! So here we go. Oh, more Steve Luther shot. This is more like what Tim was seeing, more like what we saw in the picture from Mike, and I think that it's just the timing too. Just the way the aurora changes constantly, it's definitely timing. Ooh, that looks so cool. Even with clouds, you don't feel like you're skunked because the color is there, and then to see the reflection down in the water, glory. Glorious. So then here, whose is this one? Oh, I want to see whose this one is. This came from John Phelan. Oh, cool. That is a nice panel. I love it. I mean, you can see the shape of the aurora. Plus, you can see the curtain going up in the sky, and it's so tall, it looks like it's coming over his head and flying off into the distance. But that is just the shape of it in a nice dark site that he got away to this abandoned something or other out here. Might even be his vehicle parked right there, walked out this way and came out and got a good view of this old buildings, old smokestacks, and that's cool. That's a cool spot. You don't say by chance where it was. John, are you with us right now? Sup, AA Ron? Pyro MV07. I don't remember who you are by that name, but hey, welcome in. Kathy says, I was in southern Indiana, almost in Kentucky for it, and I had a lot of pink and some purple. Okay, so she had a similar experience. And Tim is saying, Athens Battlefield was on Saturday and the Arch was on Friday. Ooh, I see. That does change a lot too, because Saturday was a little bit less active, but it was active enough from that picture. And Tim was using a 4-second, and Mike says his shutter was 1 second. So that is just the condition. Whew, it was fast. If that's 1 second, I thought for sure, Mike, that this is an example of a blurred out aurora a little bit because of the way it looks smoothed out. But that's 1 second. That's incredible. Rob Bryan's here. Hey, one of my mods. Yes, you do. I was wrong. I was on the wrong account. Oh, that was Pyro, was you. I do know Rob Bryan. Hey, man. And the Fangita, the Tin Mines is Southwest Cornwall, UK. So Fangita is John. So this is you, John, right here, and this is the Tin Mines, Southwest Cornwall, UK. All right, let's do that. Let's pull it up. So, how come? Oh, yeah, I put it over here. That's why. That's how come. Tin Mines, Cornwall. Sweet. Let's go look at this. So here we are. Oh, interesting. It doesn't know where it is yet, but I love seeing the globe zoomed out. Tin Mine Gallery. Cornwall. I bet it's this one. Yeah. Let's go there. All right. All of you get out of the way. Oh, man. No wonder you came out to this spot. This is great. So there's the fort. There's the parking spot. Let's go ahead and get some. Oh, please go away. I don't want to see that. I just want to see. Yep, there's that wall. There's the wall right there. Well, no, it's not. It's a different wall. We're at a different spot of this hike. Yeah, I'm not seeing all the exciting stuff. Let me get this out of the way. And let's take it in. The Travian Cliff, Promontory Fort. Let's see some street view from there. I think I'm in the wrong place still. I'm close, though. That looks more like it. I'm close, though. So, Levant Tin Mine. Ah, Levant. Thanks. I bet that was the right one, but I'm just going to do Levant Tin Mine. There we go. And there's the parking area, and there's the place where he was walking to. I can see it. Yeah. That's definitely it. And he was back here a little further. Much further where he got that wall in there. And there's the parking spot where he parked. Here's the walking path. Yeah, there it is. So with this view in this area, you got a nice clear spot. You got a lot of cool structures to make it interesting. Let's leave street view so that we can see where it is on the earth. And you're looking down at the edge, the furthest southwestern edge of the UK. Wow, cool. I've been to Manchester. I've been to London, but I only went in for a flight, so I can't count being at hanging out at Heathrow. But Manchester, I went out, drove up to the lakes area, and I hope to be up there again. I mean, I will. I just hope to be up there soon, because I definitely will. But looking at this spot and the Europe one, it's even further than the KP9. And so what he saw here was quite active for being that far south. So he was able to be right underneath it, further like how up in Hanksville, we're way far away from it. So he had the views like those in northern Utah, basically, that saw this. Oh, that's so cool. I really love the pano of it. And there's another pano in here that I'm really going to love and kind of gush over. So let's continue on. Oh, there it is, by the way. There's Eric's pano. It's a Pennsylvania Star Tracked pano stitch blend. What a show Saturday morning. Oh, this is Saturday. Oh, yeah, of course, Saturday morning. It was the same Friday night one. Let's see what else he said. He goes, what a show Saturday morning. An eclipse in April and Northern Lights in May. Wow. Yeah, what a year, huh? If only we could have added some more to that. Eric, we will, though. Oh, not Eric, Pennsylvania. It was Erie. He's in Erie, Pennsylvania. I took some single photos, and then it just popped in my head. Hey, the Milky Way is slowly rising at this time. So he got his planning app out, figured the shots for the pano stitch, and then started working on it. Yes. His gear was a Canon 6D, a Skywatch Star Adventurer, and then he had a Tamron 35mm f1.4. So that must be a prime 35. Awesome. Ooh. He did the sky with 7 images going across in portrait mode and a 35mm lens, and then at f3.2 at ISO 800, he did a 30-second exposure to capture the foreground. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is just his shots for the sky because he's tracking. F3.2, ISO 800, 30 seconds. So he's tracking, but only at 30 seconds so the Aurora doesn't get too blurred out. And then his foreground was a 9-image pano in portrait mode, 35mm lens, F2.8, ISO 640, and a 30 seconds exposure. So you had to do a lot of work to make this, let's get this go away. A lot of work to make the leaves cooperate with you. Ooh, you did a really good job. It's not looking bad at all. Your blends between the two, being 30 seconds and 30 seconds, you probably just don't use the sky from inside the tree leaves, to be honest, and they don't look that much different than each other because of your ISO similar and the 30-second stack, but 30 seconds exposure. The light is just in the area is just enough that you're seeing a lot. Only at 30 seconds, but he stacked it to bring out more. That looks great, Eric. Oh, man, to see the Milky Way go up and get in and lost in the Aurora is such a cool bonus. Oh, I love it. I contributed a few of my iPhone shots just now, Aaron. Oh, okay, cool. So he emailed me. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Or maybe you texted me, actually. Okay, let me go ahead and get my chat. Make sure I get the chat back up there. All right, I'm going to go into the text that Rob just sent me because you don't want to see the other text that Rob and I talk about the crazy girls. I have a friend saying that, hey, Sarah's here. Want me to come get you? They have a friend named Sarah Jean that they recommend that I meet. I want to meet. I mean, obviously, I'm so busy here with all these ladies, so I'd love to meet her. But, Rob, where is it? I don't see it on my phone. So if you contributed them, I bet you contributed them to the actual site. Never mind. I misunderstood. So here is an awesome shot from Eric, gushing over that. Definite top 5. Well, top 3. It's in my top 3. Here we go. This is an interesting one. I'm really hoping you're here today, man. This is Cameron Wilcox. And, Cameron, tell me. You have fog? You have fog rolling in? Look at this crazy effect of fog on the foreground and then Aurora. I love how the texture of the Aurora continues into the texture of the foreground. This is something that we don't typically get. We typically get this nice sharp foreground, crazy kind of, it's not soft, it's just a soft sky because of all the interesting textures in the sky. We get these harsh separations between foreground plus sky, but then his blends all together in something that I just love. Like if I had to make some marketing assets and I wanted to put some information down with like a few bits of text and have a good background, right there is so good. Oh, Rob, maybe you didn't realize it, earlier. Rob Ryan is this picture, by the way, and I did mention him earlier. This is a couple of his iPhone shots and then his Jeep. And Rob Ryan's a friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine since we started Photog Adventures, and he's been helping me out. And so when I took my liberties there, Rob, and shared this in my email that I sent to everybody here. So like when I sent this email out talking about Lofoten and the Aurora, I shared your photos here. That's why I have all your name credited on there, because I took the liberties of sharing it and Niraj's without asking either of your permission. Sorry. But I made sure I put your Instagram on there. So Rob Ryan Photography right there. Boom, boom, boom. And so I shared it when I was talking about Why Lofoten? Why coming out there? Why Aurora? Why is Aurora so cool? So this is Rob Ryan's pictures. So there's probably some more that I can get to. Oh, wait, I don't want to go out of this. Let's work our way back the fun way where we can see more pictures again and again. So Cameron, did you show up? I know that it takes about 20, 30 seconds for anything I say to show up here on the live. Hopefully you're here and hanging out with us. The Levant Tin Mine, by the way, Fangita says, is a Bortle 2 Sky out there. Man, it's so good. Yeah, Tim points out there's not too many Bortle 2s in the UK. Seriously. In fact, while we're at it, I'm waiting for Cameron to respond. We might as well get into my favorite light pollution map. And here we go, lightpollutionmap.info. It does have some ads. I actually had paid to turn the ads off, but apparently I don't know how to log in to the account that I paid. So it doesn't matter that I paid to turn the ads off. But when you look at UK, check out so bright, glowing, but then it gets good on the edges, which is why whale worked so well for Alan. You know, back here it was just nice and dark, and then he was out at this end, Bortle 2, just off of, I don't know what city, was it Levant? Is it Levant the city or the area? One of these is the area that he's on, and it's perfect. You know, it's kind of like most of Utah right there. When you look at Utah, it's mostly blue. Okay, I shouldn't say that. It's mostly black. But there are blue sections off of population, like, for instance, my trestle, my train trestle is right here. And then this over here is the silo. And that silo is off of the same sort of Bortle 2 that he was enjoying out in England. Now, unfortunately, England doesn't have this, where you go into, like, Hanksville, you know, where we had... let me get up Niraj's picture again so that I don't show anything on my phone I don't want to show. Yeah. So, dibba-dibba-doo, like this, on our dark sky, we could see a hint of Aurora in the distance. And this is a little underexposed for my pictures typically. So, looking at these images, Cameron, did you show up? Aaron Martinez is here. Hey, Aaron, haven't caught one of these in a while. Glad you're still doing your thing. Jealous of you all that you live further north. No kidding. But you don't have to be jealous. I know that you're working in Texas, and so you're always going to be south, very south. But when you can, man, get out there. Rob says, all good, buddy. I shared my one that was my favorite to the Google album. Cool, I'm going to get to your favorite one then. Sweet. So let's continue on. I was hoping Cameron was here to tell us about the fog, because that's interesting. He had such a fog going through here and capturing the Aurora. I loved it. There's Niraj's picture again. And here, ooh, wow, this is unique compared to everyone else's. And even with the sharp lights of brake lights and sharp lights of artificial light around this home, they match up with the pinks and the bright yellows of what's happening in the sky. And even with the clouds, it still turns out. I love that he found a little section of water to shoot on the other side so we get some reflected color in there. That is great. He or she, I don't even know. It is Cameron Wilcox again. Okay, so he had really heavy fog here, but then here he did not. So yeah, I mean, obviously fog rolls in and out, but that's so very contrasty images there. But that is intense. That is intense. I wonder where he's at. So then more, I think Cameron Wilcox, actually. This looks like Cameron Wilcox. It is. So more very green, very yellow. This is typically what you would see. Like what he's getting right here in this part of the image is what I saw on the Faroe Islands, where there's all the clouds and there was just green on the other side of it. I could tell it was green behind those clouds, but I couldn't see anything. It was just full cloud cover. This cloud cover everywhere. Not thick like the blackest of black part of the cloud, but just this kind of cloud cover everywhere with no gaps like he has here. It was unfortunate for us. That was back in 2018. 2018. So then looking at more, I've been declaring a couple of my top three. Cameron is then 3. The Pano top 3. And this one is in the top 3. And I'm just going to admit it right now. This is my favorite one. It has the best composition of foreground plus sky of any of the shots. And we're going to end this today, after I look at everyone's images, we're going to end today talking about the challenges of Aurora photography composition. And I'm going to show off a bunch of Mary Beth Kaczynski work so that you get an idea about how to really kill your composition on top of killing the fact that you're capturing Aurora. So this is terrific, Tim. Terrific. Fantastic work. He says, shot with a Canon R5 with and without light pollution filter. I lost the lower yellows. Okay, they got a little filtered out, huh? With the filter. So a second exposure without the filter was used. 1 second exposure was used to get those filters back. Sky and reflection was color and contrasted correct. And it's real. You know, I trust Tim to have not just added in this. This was the legitimate reflection he was capturing at the time. And oh man, I am extremely envious of this shot. If there is a Monday moment of envy to have, it is about this Aurora. Terrific, man, terrific. Getting in the St. Louis Arch, and just personally, I'm biased towards it because I used to live in St. Louis as a kid. Went up to the top of here with a little grade school field trip and looked out the windows, looking straight down, getting freaked out that the windows were going to open up and I'm going to fall through. It's like, but they're like high-V, thick, plain plexiglass or glass that's just inside there that you're looking through. It's almost cloudy. I kind of remember it being not totally clear to look through because it was that big, thick stuff that you can lean on. But man, what a great shot, Tim. Aaron Martinez, that's the same comment. Okay, cool. So just got to celebrate that. Mwah, fantastic image. It looks unreal the way that the arch is lit and everything else is pink. There's no pink hitting the arch or resting on the arch, so it looks photoshopped in. And it's not your fault. It's very well lit. And so you have to do your best to bring it back. And there's just no hint of the Aurora being cast on this. Maybe the other side of it had some cast, but I doubt it. Because it's so well lit. All right, cool picture right here from home. I mean, talk about making you jealous. Making you jealous about, I just went in my backyard and took a picture of it because it was so good from there. I couldn't have done that here in Provo. Hey, you're welcome, Tim. And I could not have done that from here in Provo. This is Philip Montgomery. He says, my backyard in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's even down in Tennessee. Man, that is far south. That is not high up here. Let's go into the map again. Pull around on the earth. I wish these clouds were like the active, true clouds of right now. That'd be so neat. Someday, though. Someday. Okay, so then let's go over to Tennessee. Tennessee, right here. Here's southern Utah. It is below southern Utah. But the way the oval was working, and you can see in the KP9 lines, they go further down on the right. So his Tennessee view is like northern Utah view. And let's just pretend he was in the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. Well, it's Knoxville. He said it's in Knoxville. So Knoxville, that's Nashville up top. Where's Knoxville? Is it further south? No, it's also by Nashville up here. So it's at the top towards Kentucky. And so the fact that his view is close to the KP9 line, and that's everywhere here, like Rob was under KP8. So this right here is still great. And so he's really close to having something there, which is why it turned out so well. Man, you're fighting back the local light pollution, so you don't have a very strong exposure on the Aurora, but you can see green and pink. You can see the lines. That's so cool. It's right from your background. I tried to make the photograph look as seen and not enhanced. Ooh, that's why he's doing it that way. I like that idea, Phil. That's fantastic. So you're trying to show off what it kind of felt like when you looked up there and saw it, not trying to make it look, insanely blown out pink. Now, this isn't like Tim's fault of doing this. He didn't enhance this. I'm sure he probably brought back the saturation a little bit because it was so insane. I saw a ridge. I think I see a flaw. No, that's just light on the building. I thought I saw a flaw. I thought maybe you had a stitch, but no, there's no issue. So, Philip, that's a cool way of doing it. He said he captured it with 5 seconds, looking east, Sony A7R5, ISO 400, 24mm f1.4, and like I said, he tried to make the photograph look as seen and not enhanced. So that's cool. I love the philosophy there. Here's Colin's picture, not from his time lapse, but a picture of what he's looking at. And oh, dude, Colin, wait, he had the information right there. Castle Rig. Let's go over there to Castle Rig. Where is Castle Rig? Castle Rig. Here we are. Castle Rig. Ooh, that's pretty. Someone's cool picture is right in Google. Someone's really putting out their stuff. So this is Castle Rig in the UK, up towards the Lake District. Or is that the Lake District? It is the Lake District. He's right inside Lake District and capturing Aurora. Oh my gosh. So cool. Lake District Hills, the green of the UK, and just an intense aurora blast above his head. Does it say 8 seconds right here? f2.5, 8 seconds on a 14 millimeter ISO 400. Isn't that crazy? It's not even a high ISO. He's just having to capture what he can, and the light is just blasting through. That's so cool. I'm so jealous. I had my kids that night. I had just gotten back from 2 weeks of workshops. I was ready to stay in, and I had my kids. If I didn't have my kids, I would have gone out for sure. But also, I did not believe that we were going to see this from Utah. I had no thought that it would. I thought it would just be more of this. And going out when I'm exhausted after 2 weeks of being out, I'm like, yeah, Aurora's happening. That's great. I wish I was in the north. I would have been like Aaron Martinez saying, I wish I was like you guys up there in the north, and then I would have celebrated the Aurora for sure. But if I was only going to get this, I'm like, man, I'm not going out. And so, if only. If only. Let's see if I can get Rob's recently updated. Refresh the page. Whoa, Kevin Adam. Whoa. Not only does he have a sweet color of aurora going off in the sky and a little more of a teal coloring there. I like that. But he's got a big blast of yellow down here from the location that he chose. That is awesome. He has a comment. Let's see what he says. Taken in the northeast of Scotland. This is Kevin Adams' picture of the northeast of Scotland. Oh, don't go away from it. Ooh, that was a cool shot. There's a lot more cool shots that have been submitted. I got to hurry, or I just got to go long. Let's go long. So that is a cool color theme. The palette of color is so interesting. Blue to purple to pink to kind of light yellowish to the green, and then the green to teal blue cobalt, and then going into the yellow foreground. Oh, the only thing I want is more foreground. It's like, you got such a good sky, though. Why would you crop any of this off? Like, how could you decide, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this and cut this off here and get more foreground? I wouldn't. I would keep this, too, especially the details of the curtain going like this and terminating. How the curtain has an end. It has a boundary to it. It has definition. It's so interesting. This is great. Clear sky, what you normally would see, and then blast of aurora. Ooh, that is intense. I love that, Kevin. I love that a lot. Man, I made her better start making a top 5. So I said my top 3, number 1, my number 2, and my number 3. Those are the easiest, my 3 favorites. Now, if I'm going to start making a top 5, whoa, we've got a lot of new submissions. Stefan and Rob and Andy and Susie. Oh, man, okay. Wow. Looks like we're not going anywhere for a while. This is good. Oh, Paula had a good shot. Okay, cool. And Tim Bradley's shot right underneath. All right, let's get going. Aaron's going to shut up about other stuff because there's some really neat pictures coming ahead of me. All right. Ooh. Well, Kevin, welcome to the top 5 because that's fantastic. Let's go to Diego because he's in there in the top 5 taking... Oh, wow, the bias is coming through now. He's in Italy, too. He's in Italy with Aurora, with the Milky Way core. This guy has just jumped into the top 5. No competition. Fantastic shot. This is coming from Diego Lancini, and he's from Milky Way to the Northern Lights in central Italy. On the night of May 11th, 2024, this isn't even the first night. This is the second night. I went to the Pian Grande of Castelluccio di Norcia, in Italy to capture the Milky Way arch. To my great surprise and delight, the sky began to turn red towards the north and then exploded into a stunning display of the Northern Lights. So you didn't even know it was going to happen? So we went there for the Milky Way, and he's like, what is going on? Now, in this picture, I thought someone had some light on over here messing up my horizon. I thought that pink over there was someone's light pollution, and I even mitigated it in the post because I didn't want to see that red. I didn't know it was Aurora. This is 2017. I didn't know it was Aurora. I thought it was impossible to see it from Utah. But look at what happened to him. If that happened to my picture, I'd be like, what? They're ruining my Milky Way. Not realizing it is a freaking aurora blast. So experiencing the northern lights at these latitudes, even gave the coordinates, is an incredibly rare, almost impossible phenomenon, and I've never seen it here with such intensity. Oh, man. Solar maximum, baby. Solar maximum. The attached image is a 180-degree panorama composed of stitching 7 images, each with a 15-second exposure at ISO 6400, taken with a Nikon Z6 and the Samyang 14mm f2.8. Absolutely. Wow, Diego. Bravo. Que bravo. Oh, man, look at that. Woo! Now, what he has is a high ISO. Most of you have captured yours with low ISOs, and yet his high ISO makes every centimeter, every millimeter of color pop off because of the high ISO gathering and amplifying all of that light. But it's just he was capturing for a Milky Way. He was trying to get a Milky Way pano over this cool irrigation setup or something. I'm not even sure what this is right there, but great terrain. He gave us the coordinates. I gotta go to these coordinates he shared, so we're going. I got a comment in here. Diego Lange, grazie. Hey, prego, mi amico. That is such a cool shot. I love it. I used to live in Italy, which is why I'm getting somewhere close with some of the Italian. Oh, crap. I messed something up about that. There we go. Cool. Centrale Italia. So, wow. No kidding. That is totally out of whack to see it that far south. I mean, look at this. It doesn't even show Italy on here. It doesn't even show that Italy would be here. When you see the American one, it's far more zoomed out, and so it looks like this Utah is probably the same distance as we're looking at Germany down here into Italy. So where southern Utah, Hanksville had the pink, it makes no surprise that he had the pink in Italy, in central Italia. But so cool. So stinking cool. Wow. Look how bright that is. Look how amazing that is. Thank you, Tim. Chris says, Green, there's a link in the description of the video. Oh, okay, cool. So Chris is going to submit his picture too. I mean, if I don't want to spend all night here, I got to stop looking at this one picture, but fantastic job. Marvelous. Yes, Diego, making me proud. We got an Italian here representing Italy. I'm going to be in Italy here in the Dolomites next week. You should join us, Diego. I had someone pull out who can't make it, and so there's only 2 of us out of the 6. There was going to be 4 of us, became 3 of us, and then went down to two of us. Sorry, England. 2 of us. Oh, no, sorry, Italy. All of those are flipping you off. England is flipping you off like this, and then in Italy, this is flipping you off. So I got to do 2 like this. 2 of them. 2 down to 2. And if you want to join us, you can, man. I'm going to be in the Dolomites. We're going to be there from June 3rd through the 10th. We're going to be going through. I'm going to take myself and the other American through Venice because we got to do a Venice sunrise because it's so cool and just enjoying it as a tourist a little bit. But then we're going to be hanging out in the Dolomiti for a week, and you should join us. It's only $1,200. It's a Trailblazer adventure. You should come, man. So Diego, consider joining us, my friend. Let me know if you really want to. Email me, Aaron at Photog Adventures. Actually, you know what? I think right here is going to be the Milky Way at Gmail. How come you're not showing? Oh, I'm missing it. There we go. That's that right there. Email me there if you want to join me, Diego. I'll send you a deal, man. So let's go back into this. So cool. I got to get away. I got to pull away from here. I'm a crack addict, and I can't pull my eyes away. Kevin Adam has a color palette choice, a very purposeful edit. I like it. He fits very well with like an 80s, let's be real, it's kind of very fluorescent pink and 80s kind of exercise gear clothes, but I love it. The green to the pink, for sure. Look at that, looking straight up into it. That is awesome, Kevin. And then this is just like the return of an angel from heaven. This is incredible how it's a very defined point of light, all going lines and lines and lines. I'll go into the top right corner, and here we got more of the yellow field. Oh, I love it. Oh, there's a comment here. Taken in the northeast of Scotland. Oh, it's just 2 of 2. Yeah, Kevin Adam, fantastic shot. Love that a lot. All right, whose is this? No name? No, John Crooks. Cool. This is from no area mentioned, but it's on May 10th, and it has that incredible, vibrant, fluorescent even green going on in the Aurora. Ooh, I love the foreground. We were going to talk about composition. Let's spend a little time here, and let's use John's as an example of going into the good side of composition. Just like many of us, when we started out our Milky Way careers, I'm going to use Mike as an example. Actually, he has a great balance right there. Who can I beat up on? I don't need to beat up on him, but it's just we all do this for Milky Way. Let's use Steve, because I know Steve's a great photographer. His example here is purposely decided on focusing on the sky. But let's pretend like he wasn't. Let's pretend like he's I'm very jealous too, Chris. Completely agree with Chris, what he said down there. So let's pretend like we're Milky Way photographers. We got out for the first time, and we're going to capture our Milky Way. And we're so excited about seeing it in the sky, and we capture all of that. And we're like, woo, we get a good Milky Way shot. And we forgot to do anything with our foreground. We do that all the time. This is something that happens all the time, and we've all been there. For instance, I have a location in Utah that apparently I'm not going to find very quickly. Where'd you go? I thought you were in here. Blast you, Aaron King. I tell myself on a weekly basis, create this folder. But then I get out of my Milky Way Wednesday and I think more about my stomach being hungry, and then I forget all of the homework I've given myself. Those of you who know me for a long time know that I'm weak there. I'm weak with remembering my homework. But let's go to was converted, because I think I have a good example here. Wish my iPad was connected. It's on my iPad. Oh, it's not on there either. You blasted fool. Well, basically, what happens is we go out to these locations, and we're so excited about the sky, we forget about our foreground, and we just have nothing in the foreground. Nothing. And we end up thinking more about the sky and not thinking about the foreground. But we need to remember to try, oh my gosh. I can't wait to get there. So we need to remember what John Crooks is doing here and getting started. His isn't the ultimate, but it's great. It's far more interesting. You want to make sure you have an interesting foreground that you are featuring on top of the sky. And this is just getting started. The reason why I'm celebrating this is because the foreground isn't just this horizon that continues all across right here and ends. He has an organic shape from one side of the top going all the way down to the other. This, in essence, breaks what I call the planes, the rule of third planes that we have. I'm not pulling my iPad out and sharing and drawing on anything, but if you drew a line across here, a line across there, and broke these up in thirds, you want to have subjects in your image that breaks those planes. For instance, this is an example of something breaking the plane right there. This is an example of a composition where before I had the Milky Way all above this, but when I went underneath this Owachomo Bridge, I actually got it to the point to where it intersects with the Owachomo Bridge, and I had a nice shape from top to right, down to left. And these are the things that I like to emphasize when I'm talking about Milky Way photography. Like, for instance, here is the Royce Bear Milky Way Butte, and it is, why is this one white for some reason? The viewer is white and not black. But this right here is a large subject, very featured prominently next to the Milky Way, far more interesting than just a completely flat subject, right? Well, in our Aurora photography, all of us are just such goobers and excited about the fact that there's Aurora that we can't also find the perfect composition. I know that there was a decision made on all of your hearts and minds that I just got to get to a dark sky. I got to go now. I mean, you knew only that day. And so it's not like you had an opportunity to guarantee a perfect composition. But whenever you can, go for it. Tim Farmer, you live close enough to a spot. I don't know how far you drove. I shouldn't assume. But you had a perfect composition plus Aurora, which is why this is my number one. You're getting some more competition, though. People have added some really amazing stuff. Like that panorama came in and just really touched my heart. I'm in love. So looking at this, though, we got to celebrate the composition perfection of this plus Aurora, and that's what you want to go for. So the thing I wanted to end with, in case any of you wanted to leave early, I don't want you to leave early because I'm going to talk about more pictures, but just I challenge you. As it is solar maximum right now, there will be another KP9 night. Several of them, in fact. Be ready. Keep watching. Keep going here to space weather. Okay, what's going on, space weather? Feed me. Refresh the page. See what's going on. Right now, today on Sunday. Oh, that's refreshing May 10th. Can I go to today? It's not the 31st yet. Today's the 26th. Let's go to the 26th and view. So you're going to go into space weather and you're going to celebrate what actually is happening. Slight chance it says, okay, I'm not going out. But be thinking, what's the closest really great composition that can see northern lights? And if it's big enough, it doesn't matter if you're looking totally on the horizon. It's going to be everywhere, all up in your sky, so any composition will work. Well, let's celebrate some more shots. I just got to give Kevin Adam more props for this. I love this one. Going vertical is something you weren't probably tempted to do at first as you went so horizontal in your other pictures. Oh, it's so good, Diego. Right here is very wide. And then you go into what is happening here and go vertical to take care of that compositional strength and balance of these lines. So that was a composition decision, and I love it. I love it, Kevin. Okay, let's move on because there's some really cool pictures that have been added. John Crooks gave me this one. Jeff says, I uploaded my video I did from 3 cameras for 5 hours on that Friday night from southern Wisconsin. Bit long to show and still have more to add to it. Hey, Jeff, hook me up with a link in an email. I know it's on my phone, but I can't click it from here. If you can give me an email with that link to your video, because I know you've made it private, I'm going to check it out. Tim Farmer, yeah, there are a lot of great images here, he says. I have the app, my Aurora Forecast, and it can send 30-minute alerts. That's a good point to talk about that for a little. In fact, let's go over to another image and celebrate an image in the background. Well, it is Tim talking, so I might as well celebrate Tim's picture. So this is something to consider. I don't have the exact same one, or no, I do. Aurora Forecast, the same one right here. This app right there, Aurora Forecast is what he's talking about, and it'll give you alerts and 30-minute alerts. So you only have 30 minutes to get where you're going to go. That's pretty terrible. But this is the Aurora Nowcast, and then here's the Aurora Forecast of what it predicts tonight. Now, from my current area, it'll give me a forecast of what I can expect to see. Now, if I was actually somewhere else, that'd be different. But still, let's see. Can I change my location? Let's go up here into my settings, put myself in Lofton. No. I just want to change my location. All right. Let's go ahead and select a location. Oh, I can't zoom in. Okay. Can I tell it? Possibility. Save that. So now I'm Lofton. Oh, it didn't change the map here, but I think it should be for my forecast. Yeah, my forecast is much more intense, but it's not much. Even in Lofton, it's only a KP2 and 3 looking at today. So there is Aurora Forecast, there's Aurora Pro, and I've used both of these in tandem to find out if Aurora is good. But I only really ever use them when I'm actually in the north, because right now I'm not good. But it has a cool feature here, best locations right now. And it says, here are the best locations. Yes, Lofoten's included. They're the best locations. Not even Iceland considered. Oh, cool. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Let me turn off my mic. Oh. It's just about to happen because I was talking about it. I pushed it back. So this whole area at the top of the north is where you're going to see the Aurora best locations. So these two apps are two apps to consider. Aurora Pro and Aurora Forecast. Consider those. All right, let's get back into cool pictures. Paula Moxley. Now, this picture is massive. Let me open this up in a new tab. Oh, it still won't let me open it. Let me go ahead and download it. So I'm going to download this picture, and then I can open up Paula's giant one. But let's go to another picture while that's loading. So then, whoop, Paula Moxley's other picture. Oh, man, you got a big old bright, vibrant pink there. And this is, looks like it's on a camera. Is there any information? No, there's no information. Any camera information? That's what I thought. I was going to say, I think that's going to be an iPhone or a phone, but it is. It is. So she's got an iPhone picture of it that it's so bright and vibrant. I love that. I love that. Let me see if I can get this picture that I just downloaded. So Roswell, here we go. Now we're going to see it. Oh, that was the entire one. Oh, okay. It looked like it was only showing me some of it, and it wasn't zoomed in, but in fact, it was. That was the whole image. That's the entire pink sky, and some interesting streak right there, which I'm not sure if it's... Yeah, it's most likely just a meteor flash, but I'd have to see it again. Let's see, where's the other Paula Moxley? Because I saw one. There's Paula Moxley down here. There we go. That's the one I wanted to go to. Someone's talking Paula Moxley. So this is more iPhone, but panorama. Oh, cool. Is this really iPhone panorama? No. I think this is a picture she took. Okay. At least it doesn't say panorama. Cool. So there's a panorama going from to right to left, and all the aurora that was visible out there where she's camping near Roswell, New Mexico. Cool. Nice. It's so further south, and yet it captured that much. What an amazing aurora presentation that was. I got some more Mike McKeague shots. Cool. I love this. I love the composition between the two trees. There's some attention there with a lot of sky. So when you have to compromise and get at least something going, but have a ton of real estate for your sky, there's a good consideration right there. And there's two different moments from the same exact spot. Man, it changes so much. Look at how much that aurora changed. Man. So I've got John's time lapse I should probably share. But I was only power lines. Some power lines going through here. This is Tim Bradley looking straight up into it. I'm going a little faster now as I've got so many submissions. So this was the 9 through 10 clear sky and aurora prediction. Reading this, I can't even tell you. I'm sure that the higher points are better, but clear sky, faint aurora. So this is zenith sky brightness. So I think the brighter is the lower the number. No, the higher the number, because it's like magnitude, right? It's still like a star magnitude. I'm actually not sure how to read this, Mike, but I do see the unihedron, and it shows from Moser, Oregon, and how it was. Man, look at how bright that was on the 10th through 11th. So it's like nothing, a little bit, and this is highly active. So from what I can tell already, I can say that this is daytime, nighttime, daytime. That's what it is. And it's really, really dark in the nighttime, but then it boosts up with the aurora, and then it went down dark again. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Did you actually give me information on it? Oh, he didn't. He didn't say anything on it. Okay, so let's go through and enjoy some more. I got Steve Luther covered. Oh, man, this picture. We got to get the info out of here. We got to see this big. Whew. The water feature, and then it having a perfect position where it got the color from this cobalt clear sky to the colorful pink to high pink to the red to the yellow right here, the greenish yellow. All of that is showing up in that water. I love it. Look at this pano. Look at that pano. Andy, you did a good job on this one. I love it. Hey, Surendra, welcome in. Okay, Tim's like, I'm ready for more CME. I'm ready for some more coronal mass ejections. Let's have it. I want Aurora now. Well, who knows? And Paula says that panel was from her Canon R6 Mark II. Okay, cool. Yep, it wasn't the iPhone. Awesome. And Tim says that's from Roswell, so that streak is definitely a UFO. So let's go into some more of these. Oh, this is same water feature, different time of the aurora, completely different feel. Look at the texture feeling here as it has a long exposure on the water to where it's close to the water and has a different sky altogether. But I love the like aurora mustache that's on the sky horizon right here. That is cool. Oh, man. Yeah, you guys all got some really cool shots, and I need to have them. I need them. Ooh, I like this shot featuring just sky, close up, taking in the colors, reflecting in the water, and then you got attention to some composition, but still, like, there's nothing breaking the plane. Not to your problem. You have a great dark sky, and so what can you do? But yes, that's so cool. Ooh, I love these. These are far more interesting with the curtain. This is great color, but when you have the definition on the curtain, it's really interesting, especially the stark contrast of what is clear sky to the aurora band, like showing up right here. This is so prominent and strong. Ooh, that's cool. And who else have I not featured? Ooh, Stefan. This is hitting me too because you got a windmill, and I used to live in the Netherlands, and there were windmills everywhere, and so I love windmills, and this is a French windmill. He says it's Aurora over the old mill Saint Martin des Noyers. This is sweet. I'm mystified by the shape of the aurora. I'm mystified by how it pours into the frame like milk going over a waterfall. Well, milk is a bad example. This is so colorful. Acid trip Kool-Aid pouring down a waterfall into this hole that is behind the windmill. That is just bizarre. Everything is streaking straight up in the sky and then curving off with the lens. Now, the curve is most likely just thanks to the lens. Let's see some information on here. It is a panorama, so it's extra curvy from the panorama and going from right to left to get everything in. Oh, boy. So the most distorted part of the lens gave it those stretches that happens in any panorama. I mean, when I show this picture all the time, the panorama of the rock isn't making that curve. That's a flat rock in front of me going off to the left. But because I'm turning towards it, it causes that curve. It causes a nice curve. So this, oh, brilliant. Cool. I love this. Who was it from again? Stefan. Yep, Stefan. Fantastic. Now, let me know if it's actually a female name and it's Stephanie, but I think it's Stefan. Stefan Gonzalez. Oh, man. So cool. Let's see the other one. More of the really cool streaks going up. I like this one more than this one. This one has a really neat balance of a very strong, tall pano, but I like what's happening here with the extra space on the right and left. Ooh, which one do I like more? Man, that's a toss-up. I think it's really strong the way the terrain has lines going towards the windmill, and then there's lines up here in the sky going away. This is another full composition consideration, and it went really well. Ooh, I think I still love this so much. I mean, if there's two children I love, they'd be equally loved by me in these two photos. This is great. Oh, what a cool spot that you found that had Aurora. He says this place. Let me copy and paste that. Let's go to the other picture. So, Saint Martin de Noyer. He's in France. I just want to know where that is. Let's get on it with the map. And those of you still hanging out with me, going long, thanks for chilling. This is an hour and a half going into, but this is fun. And this is also making me ache, making me want Aurora. When we're in the Dolomites, I hope we get Aurora again. Come on, baby. So we're looking at, in central Italy, you can see it well. He is far closer to what the activity was, the typical activity. As you look at the curve of the top of the earth, you know, where the Aurora oval is going off. Italy's way over here on the edge. And over, oh, Stefan, here we go. Thanks, my friend, and thanks, Tim. You bet, Stefan. It was a fantastic shot. It's a panel with the Sony G24 millimeter. Nice panel. Love the windmill. Absolutely agree, Tim. Absolutely agree. And so he's in this area in France, very further north and very low light pollution, I imagine, as well. Let's go back over to Europe. Lower light pollution. Let's see. La Rochelle. So it's up here. Yeah, he's probably in this gap. Not that it mattered much because the Aurora, man, it really pops through. So he's in this area close. Nantes. He's just kind of on the edge. He should be dealing with far more light pollution, but he's just not. It's great. That was a good spot. What a great capture. Aurora's killing me. I can't wait for it to come back. I can't wait for more. Let's do this. Come on, son. Attack us. Now let's go to Linda's shots. I love this Star Trail plus Aurora. This is winning the most unique approach to capturing Aurora. No one has thought of this. No one. Oh, you know what? I just realized that Stefan's icon by his name is his eclipse shot. That's cool. It's a cool shot. So, Linda, this looks so cool. To actually come up with the idea of getting out for Aurora, but then I'm going to do Star Trails. Cool idea. Such a good idea. The Aurora itself will blast out the Milky Way band, even if there isn't a moon to wash it out. And great way to take advantage of what's happening here, where in her other image you can see that, ooh, that color scheme reminds me of Kevin. Is it Kevin again? No, it's Steve Thompson. He just has a similar color scheme. Okay, but where's Linda's other one? Hey, there's Michelle. Linda's other shot from the same spot. Here's a cool image. You got the Aurora, the curtains going up. The location isn't mentioned, but I'm believing much further south in California, most likely near Sacramento. And, oh, cool sky. But that wasn't enough for her. She got creative and has won the most creative idea of how to take advantage of Aurora of any of the shots. No one else thought of this. Maybe other people did that night, but no one else submitted here thought of this idea of doing a star trail with it. Good idea, because now you have a time lapse of the Aurora, you have single images of the Aurora, and you create a star trail from it. That's a brilliant way of taking advantage of the Aurora. I want to do a star trail now too. Now you're making me want to do a star trail too. But the cool thing is all I have to do is just capture it in a way for a time lapse that works also great as a star trail. So we go into Steve Thompson's pictures here. He has a very similar color palette choice as Kevin from earlier from Scotland. And what a cool color. This is like a tie-dye shirt. This is interesting. Very simple foreground, very typical. Like I went out and saw a dark sky, and now I got the sky. Now I got to capture. The stuff that we can do also on top of this is ready for our next Aurora adventure. Our next Aurora adventure, we're going to perfect our composition. I'm going to show you Mary Beth Kaczynski's pictures to end this. Like I said, oh man, Steve, this panel of that same area. Cool. Oh, this information. May 11th. It's after midnight of the 10th. So it's May 11th in the morning. Again, looking south. The arch shape of the green reminds me of a Milky Way springtime arch. Oh, yeah, right here. Totally does have that same shape of a Milky Way arch. 5-shot vertical pano. Fantastic, Steve. Fantastic. I love that. That is great. It's so bright, too. The way that you have edited your color makes all the green in here just look like brand new green, fresh leaves from the spring, and it really makes emotion come out. So here's Robert Ryan's wife, Nichelle, enjoying the Aurora. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. They got to see it in such a different way compared to me down here in Utah. I would have had to go to northern Utah to capture what he got above his vehicle. Where is he at? Right here, next to his vehicle, and then above his vehicle, and then Nichelle gets in one of these pictures. Ah, man, I'm jealous. I guess maybe next time, Rob, I'm going to have to come up there and join you in Idaho and do some Aurora photography, because I could get there within a few hours. So I could find out during the day that it happened and be ready to go. That would be a quick drive. So who's on here? Before I hit refresh, have I not featured yet? I think I featured everyone. Let's refresh and see what happens. I know people were trying. And let me go for activity. Most recently at, oh, holy goodness. You guys don't want me to eat lunch, do you? Because we're not going anywhere, baby. Ooh, there's another Rob Ryan picture. Yeah. Let's go for the updates. Let's see if I can update this way. So here's from his house. When he got back and got home, he took a picture from home that was still just an iPhone picture. Went well. Yeah, stealing Star Trail idea next time I can. That's what Tim Farmer says. You can steal Linda's idea about the Star Trail. Yeah, near Nantes. Okay, cool. Oh, man. So then another mustache. Is this also... This is a completely different person. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Christian has a great... are you capturing the exact same moment? It's very possible. Now I've got to open this in a new tab. Open the image in a new tab. I want the info, though. Ah, crap. Let me open up this page in a new tab because I got to compare side by side now. I got to know because him and I think it was Steve. Who was it? But no, it was Andy. Andy's mustache. It wasn't his mustache, but Andy shot. Where's Andy's shot? Come on, baby. Yeah, John Phelan had that similar moment there, too. No, it was the same mustache shape as Stefan was getting. Yeah, look at this. This looks like the exact same moment. Let's get the info. Well, maybe I should want the info. 8:28 p.m. GMT plus 2, 9:57. So they're just, well, no, that's today. That's today's date. This is the capture there. It doesn't say the capture that moment. But I'll take off the info of Stefan and talk about the cool shot from Christian. It's shot with Fuji. Oh, you know what? You're not seeing that. Let's go feature him large. Shot with Fuji, XT2, 360 degrees even. So this is not just straight out 180. The 17 shots, 3 rows, 8 seconds. The foreground was light painted. He used a Samyang lens, 12mm f2 in Germany. He almost forgot about the Aurora that night. Yeah, honestly, this happened for many people where they're like, I'm going to do something else, like we heard from Diego. Speedy action. Yeah, no kidding. So I swear this is the exact same moment. I mean, look at these side by side. Let me stop right here, and then I'll make Stefan's a little smaller. Look at that. The purple, the pink, the green, the way the streaking is going, that looks like the exact same moment. That's bizarre. That's awesome. That would be something to see if we get enough submissions worldwide of the exact same second capture, but different parts of the world perspective. Oh, cool. And Linda Krugman, the one who creatively thought of doing the star trails, she says down below, mine were taken the last minute near Plymouth, California. I left home at 10 p.m. and started shooting about 30 minutes later off of a country road. So, yeah, oh, man, great idea with the star trails, Linda. Great idea. So let's go back to featuring Christian because that's just too cool. And I'll turn off his info, make that picture large. Light painting, and then the dark horizon, and then the bright sky. Oh, he's in the middle of nowhere. This is the kind of place where I hear an animal and I get scared. You know, what is that sound I hear? Oh, gads. Got to be strong, got to be brave. This right here is a fantastic pano. The pano stretch of Aurora is really interesting. I really like that. So I'm going to go back to the activity. I want to go to the activity and see them in the order that they came in, but it looks like I lost that. Go back. Yeah, I lost that. I'm not going to see the info. If I go to info here, hit info, then go back, then I get the activity. Oh, come on. Come on. Recent images. There's got to be a quick way to see the activity again. Ah, bummer. But we'll just go this way. Scroll down. So we'll start with David. David Fitzel. That's bizarre, especially since the parked vehicles right there on this part of the road, they look like they're the source of the light, but they're not the source of the light. So it's like stop action right there. I'm going to turn off his info so you can take in his full image better. Cool. Aurora plus your vehicles is a very common approach for a foreground. Those are some composition-minded photographers who are like, I need something in my foreground. So let's do a cool picture of the vehicles. Plus, I love the colors that come off on the vehicles. Now, this is some of the lights from vehicles lining up on that vehicle, but you can see some of the horizon behind them, and you can see some light and color in there a little bit. That's so cool. That was Steve Fitzel? No, David Fitzel. Cool shot. Let's go through. Go to one I haven't seen before. Actually, have I seen that one before? I think that was John Crooks. Yeah, I have. Okay, so going down. Refreshed. And who else was new? David Fitzel. Another David Fitzel. So let's go to his first one. Ooh, I love that. That tree's texture. Now that's something that took some effort scouting out and finding. And then he's just right down in the reeds and the grasses and looking up to capture that Milky Way going right off the frame and coming away from this really neat silhouette. I love how he got angled enough to get the silhouette clean off the horizon to really take advantage of this wonky, folded over by the wind tree. I like that a lot. Aberlady, Scotland. Up in Scotland. Yes, cool. And then another one from Scotland, still very cool. Look, at the angle where Scotland is, the intense lines going straight up into an empty space where the curtain ends is so neat. One thing that I haven't pointed out a lot, but you'll notice that the curtains typically have a green bottom and transition to a pink top, where the aurora is causing the ionization, the magnetic, it's like, how do I say this accurately? The reaction of the coronal mass ejection that's hitting the Earth in the magnetic north and how it reacts to the atmosphere and the way it kind of, it's not really burning off, but the way it creates this light show with the ionization and such. It's more than just ionization. I just can't say it correctly, so I don't know. But the way that this reacts, the lower it is towards the Earth's surface, it's green, and the higher it goes, it's red. Kind of like with air glow, where the ionization of air glow happens at lower altitude, greenish color, and a higher elevation altitude with a pink-red color. And so you'll see this is probably the same curtain starting from here, going all the way down to there. The exact same aurora shape curtain is exactly that, and it's just the bottom half of it is a gradient of green, then it transitions into pink towards the top. Hope that makes sense. That's what I've noticed when I watch time lapses and see them, like on my Apple TV when it shows the screensaver of the International Space Station time lapses, and there's aurora going off in the distance. You can literally see the curtain kind of like a ribbon shaking around, and the bottom of the ribbon's green, the top of the ribbon's pink. So let's continue on some new pictures. 1090. Oh, this is also a Diego shot or just another Italian? Info. Oh, shared by Mil Novanta. Okay, cool. Awesome. This is Selters, Aurora and Selters, and don't know where Selters is. I bet the Google map will find it fast, though. Let's go into Selter. Selter. Oh, Germany. I wondered. Just that picture made me think of Germany. Didn't it make anyone else think of Germany? That's such a German village. I love it. Looked like he even had some clouds, but got away from them and got the Aurora. He or she got the Aurora up there. Awesome. So good share there and some more. Ooh, it got really active over the village, so the clouds didn't get in the way. Some more. John Crooks, time to feed and walk the dog. This was fun. Thanks for doing it. You bet, John. Thanks for hanging out with me for an hour and a half. You're a saint. And on hello, I knew my light pollution there was not much hope, but I had to try. Yeah, that's true, unfortunately, but you got to get out there. The light trail is a bus, what David says. David Fitzel says that was a bus in his image. So when I was hanging out, oh, you know what? I think I had David's open up here. I think I could faster open it up here. So the light trail shot of the two vehicles that David submitted right here was a bus went by. Just a bus. That's not even multiple cars, but it makes sense why it's so high and has a big blast of light right there because it's the window light coming in. And then that was quite intense. All right, go back to Mil Novanta. And, ooh, so cool. Over the village, the city, and not so light, which is wonderful to see. But like, oh, wow. That pink, I'm losing my cursor. My cursor is supposed to be big fluorescent pink, so it's visible, and it is just disappearing in that. And, Steve, it always goes to yours next. It's funny. And Mil Novanta's other picture, completely different change to the Aurora. Definite clouds. Any info on this? Was this a couple nights later? It is a few nights later. And yeah, most likely taken a few nights later too, but this is 5/11, so it must not be May 13th. So it's just that morning of, but just a different timing of it. And you can see the intensity is being blocked by the cloud, but also just different kind of intensity going on at that moment. Like that a lot. I like seeing the different variations of everything too. It's really neat to take into account. All right, there's Jeff's video. He uploaded it here. Watch the dance. Little dance music I love. Oh wow, this is he said from Wisconsin. This is from Jeff. The only thing more exciting than experiencing the Aurora Borealis is to experience it with friends, whooping and hollering. Whooping. Look at that above you as you watch that go across like clouds. Now, Colin, this is an actual AI song. I know that Jeff did this. In fact, Jeff's the one that introduced me to UDO. Let me turn this down a little bit. Oh, I love that against the horizon of his trees, just to see that activity going popping off there. It really is like a dance show. Angelo's like, I need a better heads up next time. Yeah. All right, man, that is great. 2 minutes would have been worth watching, but I've already gone long. Oh, man. So I know that you were giving me an email. Let's see if I have it from you. Surendra, you sent me, not processed any yet. He does have these, though. So Surendra has shared with me these pictures. So let's go ahead and share Surendra's pictures. Oop. Oh, go big. All right, there we go. And I'm going to pull this over and block the other view. Okay, cool. So here's from the plane. So Surendra was flying home from our workshop in Escalante, and he's on a plane seeing the Aurora go off. So he was actually up there in the sky during this intense show. Mil Novanta says, thanks a lot, Aaron. They were all taken on the night of the 10th to the 11th. The timestamp is most probably from the day I edited them. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But I saw the naming of that one file, and that was definitely May 11th. So Mil Novanta was in a... I love the German city there. The German city is very picturesque. And I think the sky wasn't giving you the same thing everyone else got in this picture, but you got an intense sky here. This is my favorite of your shots, Mil. My absolute favorite of them. But then the pano one, that wasn't a pano one. It was just a wider one. This one, I like the context of the space and seeing how bright and large spread it is, but there's just, it fades out too much up here compared to the other one to be my favorite of them. I love how vibrant the green is, but it's definitely, this one wins for the most intense, and it's got a great vision over the city, and it's just, can you imagine? Can you imagine being there? I wish I was there with you. What a beautiful spot, too. So, yeah, absolutely love it, and thank you for sharing it. Let's go back to Surrender from the Sky. This is from his iPhone, or his phone on the in the sky. Capturing flying. This is crazy. Oh, just out of focus because the window got too intense. That's the hardest part when you're in a flight and you're trying to get it against the window tight enough so that you can actually get it to focus and not focus on the debris in the window pane. But so cool right there. It must have been incredible seeing with your naked eye. Now, it's not pink. It's not green with your naked eye. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like that, what you see with your naked eye. You see activity, you know it's there, but your rods and cones, you know what? Your low-level light recognition of color is impossible. It's just very low recognition. It needs to have more light to activate the rods that see color or the cones that see color. I think it's the rods that see color and cones see in the dark. But I'm barely remembering. So Jeff says, I highly recommend running time lapses so you can sit around watching it. Coolest part was around 2 a.m. when light was pulsing from I'm gonna see it over here, from every direction to the auroral corona overhead. I got an icon here of a heart that's overlapping half your text when it's at the bottom, so I can't ever read it very clearly. But yeah, I totally recommend what Jeff is saying. Do a time lapse, because then you just run a time lapse the whole time, and you don't have to think about capturing or changing things. Find that composition, find that time lapse, and get that running. So you're gonna sit there and enjoy it. All right, we need to be done. Let's end this here. So I'm gonna hit refresh one more time and see if anyone else who's been waiting for a long time has been updated. Oh, Brendan, you're killing me, Brendan. You're killing me. That is so good. Okay, so I got Dave's. I seen Jeff's. And, okay, we got to get into Brendan's shots. That's awesome. Okay, any info? So, let's go to his next picture. None of these have like a comment. Okay, Brendan, in the chat, man, tell us about these. Man, that must have been a cool time lapse. Look how intense that is. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's so much to talk about here. Great subject. We got a lot of interest. He's here ready to go. He was here early. He came in the daytime. In fact, let me kill this. Let me make this big. He came in the daytime. He got ready. He knew it was coming. This is towards the end of dusk. Sun has set, and Aurora's already begun. It's already visible, even though it's like nautical twilight at this point, maybe astro. And so we're looking at this beautiful composition. He's set it all lined up over water where it can reflect the color. Great composition leading up to a nice center-weighted mountain here. What is this, St. Helens? Is this Mount Hood? I don't know enough to know. I got a bunch of texts. Are these important texts? Linda says, I give these people posted taking your Plymouth, California 20-minute Star Trail. So I got that from Linda. And what's your link for the calendar for signing up for that hour post-processing? Okay, Keith, I got to send him a text. I was just making sure no one texted me about this right now, and I got the text from Jeff here for YouTube. Sweet. All right, so back to Brendan's shot. Great composition, great location. He's ready to go. And then throughout the night, there is just like new intensity and different situation over and over. Here we go, Brendan's down below. Hey, Aaron, greetings from New Zealand. Oh, is this a New Zealand mountain? I've just added a few of my photos of the Aurora. Yeah, I'm celebrating them right now. These are from Taranaki in New Zealand. Ooh, that first shot was twilight, 3-hour hike to get to that location. Oh, a 3-hour hike. So not only did you get there in time in the day, but you also had to get there in time for hiking. So this is the Corona blast from the south. This is Aurora Australis. Of course it was active that night too, most likely. Oh my gods. So this is cool. This is a whole different Aurora. This isn't anyone's Aurora that we've been seeing in the northern hemisphere. This is southern hemisphere Corona Australis happening that Brendan Larson captured. I'm loving it, man. I am loving this shot. So we got to talk. I think we should do another podcast episode. I haven't done a podcast episode in a long time. This is pretty much the same image, huh? Okay. I think it is. Even the clouds. Oh, the clouds are different, just a little different. But I love seeing the transition of time of what happened behind this cool mountain. What is the name of this mountain, by the way? Help me with that. Taranaki is the area, or is that the mountain? It's probably the mountain. It was a bit windy, so I didn't get a perfect reflection, but it was an amazing night. Yeah, but I kind of love the softness. Even in this first shot where you can see the wind so intense right here, chopping up the water, I like the texture of it. I actually really am drawn to it. And the color shows up still despite that. I mean, look at that one. That one looks like you poured blood in the water in front of you. It's so vibrant. Oh my gads. Oh, look at that. So when it changed from being just a nice pink aurora with some empty sky to being the entire sky is blowing up, the aurora is yellow and pink. It doesn't get any of that green. Now, we talk about that location. Let's go into it. Let's not ignore the opportunity of going to New Zealand. I'm going to be there in August. Taranaki, New Zealand, Taranaki Mountain. Yeah, so that is the mountain name. What? That's what it's telling me? Oh, this whole section right here is Taranaki. But then this is that mountain for sure because it looks like a volcano. Where's that water source? It's not going to be very obvious. The Wilkie's Pool. And then just a ton of little water sources. So a 3-mile hike in somewhere at the water. Looking at the shape of the mountain. Let's go. My guess is it's over here. Come on. Nope, I'm on the wrong side of the mountain. See that high point right there? Wrong side of the mountain. But this is a cool area. So when you're looking at, I haven't even got a map example of KP9 going into New Zealand and where that Aurora Australis will go up to, but it's on the northern island. I'm in the southern island in the winter in this August, but you know, this is also his it was his end of the summer, so I guess it still was like the fall temperature, huh? But we got to celebrate some more pictures. Look at that change of intensity. Oh man, cool. This is Orion, isn't it? Yeah, there's the belt. There's Rigel, and there's Betelgeuse, and that's the sheath, and that's Orion Nebula right there. That's Orion. Cool. Let me see if I have any more info. No. Wow, it looks like a sunrise. Is that just Aurora? Because that looks like a sunrise right there. Brendan, awesome images. Fantastic. I'm sure you're going to sell a lot of those. Those are really gorgeous. So New Zealand, Puaki Tarns, and Mount Taranaki. This shot was taken during twilight. Yeah. So the Puaki Tarns, I want to go there. Let me find out what that is. Puakai Tarns? Yep, that's right. I knew I was on the wrong side because looking at it here, you can now see, most likely, the point of the mountain on the left side. That's exactly it. Yeah. I was on the completely wrong side. I guessed totally wrong. But so cool. That's a great way to end it here. So Brendan's also adding in here, isn't it Mount Doom? Is it Mount Doom? It probably is Mount Doom. Which one is Mount Doom? Because I think Mill's right. No, Mount Doom is Mount Nigarahua. I don't know. Nigaruhoa. Maybe. Something like that. Nigaruhoa. How do you pronounce it? Does it say here? It doesn't say. Dang. But that mountain is Mount Doom. It doesn't have the exact... It's actually shorter, much smaller than this mountain, it looks like. So he's also saying here in the chat down below that it was a bit windy, blah, blah, blah. Mount Taranaki, Puaki Tarns on south side of the mountain. North side, I mean. Yeah, I went on the south side and guessed totally wrong because I was picturing looking north for Aurora. That's what I should have realized. Of course, you're going to look south, looking towards... from north looking south, so you can see it. And it's not Mount Doom. No. Nope. Those of us who just think of New Zealand are like, hey, Lord of the Rings, baby. Lord of the Rings, New Zealand. Bring it. That was a great way to end. You're making us all incredibly jealous. Like any one of these photos at any moment could be the photo. So how are you going to decide? How are you going to choose which one of these favorites to make the favorite? That's so awesome. So I mentioned that I was going to show off Mary Beth Kaczynski. I better go into here. I've made a mistake in adding girls from single on websites for dating apps and apps on my phone for dating apps. They will give their social media, and often it's an Instagram. Well, I have started adding them, or I did last year. I added them to my social media because I wanted to see if they were real, and I wanted to talk to them there if they wanted to chat. Unfortunately, the algorithm's like, so you like girls, huh? And so now it's like my feed is just like, bam, here's all the girls' stories. And it's like I've got, like the first one I just pulled up is Fernanda Loper. So I need to get, unshare some of these. Ooh, cool. Stray Photon has a cool Over Factory Butte. Oh my gosh. Is this real? It is. I'm sick to my stomach. I got to show you guys this because I'm sick to my stomach. Look at that. Don't Stray Photon. If that is legit, Factory Butte saw, because I know how pink it was from oh, come on, go away, little comment thing. I know how pink it was in Niraj's shot, and so if Niraj got that good of a shot, of course this is probably visible looking north. Oh my gosh. This is not only a bloom of flowers and Factory Butte, but also Aurora. And I was just there. I could have. Oh, gosh. My heart hurts. I'll get my chance. Well, let's go to Mary Beth Kaczynski. Mary Beth Kaczynski. Yeah, Emily Rudd's a cutie. I love Emily Rudd. Mary Beth Kaczynski. She is my Aurora specialist. She is fantastic and brilliant on composition. And all right, I get it. Let my notifications go away. All right, let's go back here so I can click on that and have the notifications stop really warning me. I'm good. I'm trying to end this, please. So here's an example of a composition that Mary Beth Kaczynski had already worked out. And now, finally, she got herself there. It hurt like crazy. The poor girl is going through a lot right now. But she's got that composition that she loved, but also Aurora. You can see... Be Still My Heart is the time lapse of the Aurora over. Just like Jeff was saying, get that time lapse and enjoy it, because not only does it free you to enjoy the moment and just focus on watching it, but you've also got a chance to take any second, like you saw with Brendan's shot, any second could be a completely different look. So you got these other compositions that she's sharing. I'll X out of this. So this is the video. This is a single picture. This is the video. Here's a cool place that she likes with the Milky Way. She has fantastic compositions, and the way that she plans her oh, did that really comment turn out like that? You gotta be kidding me. So then the way she works on her natural skill of the compositions and then blends in an Aurora. Now, I say it blend like as if she's adding it. No, I mean that she's going back to that composition and nailing an Aurora with that composition. For instance, that one we saw first was the best example, but I want to go down to some of her older stuff where it shows her version of a Milky Way over Devil's Point right here. Oh, yeah. You can see this is an old picture from there that she just loves that view. She loves that composition. Continuing on, Aurora from her plane. All right, here's a good example. This is Bond Falls. Yeah, Bond Falls. This is Bond Falls in the UP, and she's always loved this shot and hoped that she could get Aurora. She knows that she can point that way and maybe get Aurora, and she's been waiting. And then she found a KP 8.5 at its peak going when she got her composition over Bond Falls. So I think if you're ever wondering about how could I make composition strong, you should focus and check out Mary Beth Kaczynski's photography. Look at this. This is a great example. Oh, it's not moving. It's moving. It won't stop. Stop. These are great cracks and great future compositions that she's taking with her phone. And then her final shot came from here, and it really features well what's going on in a very hyper foreground focus. Look at this one. Hyper foreground are the icicle crystals in the water with the aurora going on. That's so great. She makes sure there's something interesting from top of the frame to bottom, and that she has something in her foreground that's very interesting that draws the eye. It's fantastic. The reflection is great, and just love it. This is a cool Milky Way shot. Actually, Orion shot. And it's got beautiful flowers in, where is this? Borrego, yeah. Manza Borrego with great texture and cracks. So brilliant. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You got to go, Linda, too. No worries. I went for 2 hours, so you stayed this long. That's great. Okay, great images anyway. Yeah, not Mount Doom, but great images anyway. Yep, absolutely. All of you did a fantastic job capturing the Aurora and getting out there. You succeeded in getting out there. Now, I want you to now go through the process of not just getting out there next time, but having a fantastic composition. Think about a location that could see northern-facing skies that has a great composition, and make a plan. Get a plan in motion so that when the time comes and the KP8, KP9 geomagnetic storm hits us again, that you're ready to go and you can nail something that's not only a great sky, but a great composition. That you can not only get Aurora going through the shot, but you might also even get the Milky Way. Where's Eric's picture? The Milky Way plus Aurora. Oh, it's so good. And you might even come away with the top most amazing, wonderful composition plus Aurora, to be lucky enough. I mean, he could never have planned a Milky Way shot over the arch like this. One, you look north like this, it's not going to show it, but also the light pollution. But the way the light pollution did not affect Aurora is awesome, astonishing, astounding. Incredible shot. Way to go, Tim. Way to go, Tim, on that. So, fantastic imagery. Love everything that you come through with, and I can't wait to see what the next storm might bring and what you might get next time. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for 2 hours. Those of you who have been here the whole time, I salute your patience and endurance and your love of the night sky. I'm Aaron King with Photog Adventures. I won't be back this Wednesday for Milky Way Wednesday, but I am going to be out and having some fun with people watching their photos and getting some great shots. So hope you get out there yourself. Get out there yourself and have an adventure of your own. I will see you later. And again, Diego, if you're still there, man, come join me in Dolomiti if you want. Let me know if you want to do that. Eric Reese, you're welcome so much. I'm going to make sure, Eric, that we work it out, that we hang out next year, because we will. Tim, thank you. Thanks for seeing me in the bushes in Escalante and not scaring me. I walked up on him this time, but it turned out to be someone I knew. It was fantastic. Chris Whiting, most of the time. Thanks, Aaron. Most of the time. What was that? I wonder what he's saying most of the time, too. Most of the time, thanks? I don't think he's saying that. Chris Whiting's saying something else, but I missed what he's also referencing. So, yeah, Chris, thanks, man, for being here. Oh, you were here for most of the time. That's what you're saying. You were here for most of the time. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out that long anyway. So, have a good one. I'm going to go get some breakfast/lunch. Angelo's made me very jealous with his bananas idea. Maybe I'll go that direction. All right, well, take it easy. See you next time on Milky Way Wednesday, and have a good week.